Hey everybody, today is Tuesday, February 11th, and I just finished up a day of dog walking, and I took some time to film while I was out with the dogs. So there's a lot of talking in these videos because I want to describe the dogs, their history, some things that they're dealing with in training, and I feel like it's useful for those of you that work with me one-on-one in private lessons, so you kind of know how I deal with things as they come up. So without any further ado, here we go. Okay, first outing of the day is with Chunky Scout. I walk Scout on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, and what we do is we come down to this field and I play ball with him and let him run around a little bit. So I used to take Scout on hikes, but I don't anymore because he's got a few structural problems and he tends to go hog wild when he's with other dogs in the woods. So we spend some one-on-one time with each other. Good boy. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I let him run around a little bit. We get some leash time in, but he's a really nice dog, well-trained dog. I wanted to give a shout out to Meredith Stores, Scout out, down at Off Leash Excursions, because she trained Scout when he was a puppy. So if you know anything or are familiar with this breed, sometimes it can be a little challenging because these English Labs, they get really big and they can be a little stubborn and a little handler insensitive. But if we train our puppies when they're young to pay attention to us, it really helps with training on down the road. So he's about 6 or 7 years old. Good. Out. Good. Get it. And it's just a pleasure to be around him. What I'm going to do is talk a little bit more in detail of a specific experience that I had with Scout after I get back from his walk. Good boy. Okay, so an important lesson that I learned from Scout. I had Scout in the woods off leash with a small group of dogs 5 years ago. It was during COVID, I remember. And there was a woman walking in the woods with her 2 young sons. Scout ran up to this woman and her 2 young sons, and he did not come back to me right away when I called him. And this lady freaked out on me. She said something like, "This is why I can't walk in the woods. You know, it's totally unacceptable that your dog just did this. My kids are scared of dogs." And I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, I am so sorry. And I promise you, if you ever see me again out here, this will never happen again." And from that day forward, I train all of the dogs that I have off of the leash with me on the remote collar for a reliable recall. It was something that I had done with my dog Ruben, and I had done with a couple of clients here or there, but I just realized that I need to have control when I'm out and I have dogs off of the leash, because it's unsafe to allow dogs to run up to little kids, and nobody wants that. So that's where I stand on the remote collar. It's a standard for me if I have dogs off of the leash. It keeps dogs safe. It is very clear communication with the dog, and it just gives them a chance to get out there and have fun and run around and be dogs, but also to be safe. So if you had questions about where I stand on that tool, I hope that answers them. All right, so if you've been following along with the Dog Walking Chronicles, 2 weeks ago I was working with Sage one-on-one, and today I have her out with her sister Olive. So we're working Sage on a 20-foot long line. Both of these dogs have e-collars on. Sage is in the process of training. So what that means is that I'm really going to start holding her more accountable when there are distractions. And today I'm not going to go looking for distractions. This is only our 3rd hike out. But I really want to be able to teach her that come means come, and it doesn't matter what's going on around in the environment. So if I call her to me, her job is to come to me, and if there's something that's out there that is a little bit more enticing and better than me, there needs to be a little bit of a consequence if she blows me off. So again, I'm not going to go looking for that just yet, but that's where we're at in our stage of training here. And Sage, I'm going to admit, is a little bit young for me to start e-collar training, but she has a very strong foundation in obedience because Laurie has worked extensively with her. She's also a very pack-driven dog, so she naturally wants to hang out with me. And she's also a very well-bred dog. And all of those things are going to come into play when I make the decision to start adding a little bit of pressure to that recall command. She's confident, she's sure of herself, she doesn't experience a lot of fallout from corrections. And for those reasons, it makes it easier for me to start remote collar training with her at 7 or 8 months old. So I'm not expecting to have to use the collar today, again, unless we see a distraction, but it's pretty quiet out here because of the weather. So, all right, I got to pick up some poop. And yep, second outing of the day, Olive and Sage. Okay, I'm out with Miss Marley. We're just doing a neighborhood walk today. Normally I hike her with Fozzie, but she had a little something happen to one of her paws, so we're just taking a neighborhood stroll. But I have released her, so right now she is free to sniff and let the leash out and do kind of whatever she wants. Just giving her a break on the neighborhood walk. And I wanted to talk about the equipment that I have on her. So we have a flexi lead attached to a prong collar. Absolutely full disclosure, Laurie hates flexi leads and I use them when necessary. So I wanted to talk about why I have this equipment set up on Marley and why it works for her. So Marley struggles with a little bit of leash reactivity around the neighborhood. And if you've worked a dog that has leash reactivity, it's really important to keep a loose leash, because when it comes time to actually use the leash, that pressure from the leash needs to mean something to your dog. And if the leash is already tight, you no longer have that leash pressure as a tool to try to reinforce a behavior or correct your dog or do whatever you need to do with the leash. So the beauty of the flexi lead is the leash is loose while the dog does what they're doing. And being able to use the flexi is contingent on whether or not you have a really good heel command. So once I say heel, I expect Marley to walk nicely by my left side, and she understands how to do that. And so when it's time to get going again right now I have her in all done so she can do whatever she wants. But when we start getting steps in again, I'm going to say heel and expect her to heel at my left side. If there is something in the environment that becomes overstimulating to her, I have more options on the flexi because that flexi lead is loose. And it's kind of a more involved conversation than that, but that at least can give you a little bit of insight into what I'm doing out here with her today. But I don't know if I said this already, but she had a little bit of a foot injury, so that's why we're not in the woods today. She would much prefer to be in the woods, but she runs around like a nincompoop, and the last thing that I want is for her to get re-injured. So we're just getting some steps in out here on the street. Marley, come. Good girl. Nice job. Heel. Good. Come on, heel. Good. So she knows what's up. Emma's done a nice job working with her. And yeah, I think this is number 3 for the day. Alrighty, I'm out with Mr. Fozzie. I'm actually going to turn the camera around and talk into it a little bit here, but this is him. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Super cute guy. I love this dog. Okay, I tried to film this when I was out and about, but I couldn't. So I'm here with Mr. Fozzie, just chilling. And Fozzie's an awesome dog. I've worked with him since he was a little puppy, but there have been a couple of occasions in the past couple of months where he's gotten loose and ran around the neighborhood. And not with me, but with his mom. And when a dog does this, the chances are that they have the time of their lives. And when that type of stuff happens, the dog is more likely to do it again. So I have to be really careful when I'm out with him. So I have him on the long line. He is e-collar trained. He knows to come when called. I've never had an issue with him when I've been out with him, but he does snap into that over-aroused state very quickly. And some people call this the zoomies. So I hate the zoomies because, again, even though the dog looks like they're exercising and, getting tired and running around, the state of mind that the dog is in isn't that great. So they are over aroused. They're playing the catch me if you can game. And I shut that down right away. And the problem is sometimes we allow our dogs to do this inside the house. And then when we go outside, we expect them not to do it. And that's not really a fair expectation. So if you want to exercise your dog, hike with them, walk them, play fetch with them, bring them on a treadmill, train, but don't accept zoomies as exercise. That you really want your dog to be calm, paying attention to you, walking with you when you're out in public. And again, this stuff is tough, and I'm not blaming anybody for this. He's just a fun-loving guy, really is what it comes down to. But yeah, again, just keeping your dog out of that over-aroused state is like really, really important. So he's doing great. We'll get there, but it's going to be a while until I can completely trust him again. Okay, so I'm out with Miss Lily, and we're in the park that's close by our house. I stupidly forgot to bring a tripod for my phone today, so I couldn't put it down anywhere to film us. To film us playing. But we did just run around and play with the ball a little bit, which was great. If you want to see more of that, I posted a video a couple of weeks ago. But I'm psyched because Lily, she's sniffing and walking around and having a good time. And usually when we're here, she wants to be over on that side of the park because that is the direction of Lily's house. And Lily's house is her sanctuary. It's where she feels the most comfortable. And again, I'm psyched that her tail is up and she looks pretty comfortable today. Again, I've never seen this dog go to the bathroom off of her own property. And it looks like she has to pee, but she never has. And it's okay. We're getting there. She's just a little nervous to be out and about, but great dog, super duper friendly, great with the kids, everything like that. But we're just still working on making her feel a little bit more comfortable out in the real world. Good girl. Nice job. Super. Hi. Say hi to the people. Sweetheart. Lily, come. Yay, nice job. Way to go. Yeah, you did it. Snack time. Okay, so I am out with 5 dogs for my last official hike of the day. I do have a little bit more work done to do at the house, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to film. So I'm out with Leo, Cali, Heidi, Monte, and Hamish. And I usually cap out my hikes at 4 dogs, but with the way the schedule went today, I had to take Sage out. I wanted to take her out with Olive. So eventually Monte will be hiking with Sage and Olive, and then I will have these 4 dogs on a different hike. So it will keep me at that 4, but for the time being, 5 is fine for today. And the real reason why 5 is fine is because these dogs are really reliable, especially everybody besides Hamish. And Hamish is very reliable as well. I've been hiking him for about 2 years. But the reason why I have the long line on him is because sometimes he can have a little bit of a fear or flight response when other dogs run up to us. And I want to be able to control that with the leash and not the remote collar. And he has been great for months and months and months, but I am very risk averse, so he drags this line. I don't care. The last thing I want is a dog to go into flight mode when they're out here in the woods and have an accident. So he still has fun wearing the line. And again, the reason why I am able to increase these numbers today are just because these dogs are all so great, and I've been working with them for years and years. With that being said, I got to pay attention. So thank you for tuning into the video of my day. Hope you enjoyed it. And if there's more to come, that's great. If not, I will be posting these on a more regular basis. So stay tuned.